Hey everybody, it's Suzanne. Today I am going to make rouladen. This is my grandmother's recipe, Oma. Oma is grandmother in German, and this is her recipe that I've made for years, and I'm going to do that today. I've got a lot of German recipes to share with you guys. I was 5 years old when I came over from Germany, and my grandmother wrote down all her recipes and gave them to me, so I'll be sharing more of them. Okay, you get everything that you need. Here I am getting my celery, onions, carrots, putting them in a little pot, and I'm going to put them on the stove and bring them up to a boil and cut them back and let them simmer. This is to make my gravy, and it's like a veggie stock is what it is. And about an hour before I started the video, I took my meat out. And always when I make steak or things like this, I'll let my meat get up to room temperature. So I've taken this out, and now I'm going to pound it with my meat pounder to tenderize it. This is a top round. You can use a sirloin top round with about 1/4 of an inch thick. You can have your butcher or someone at the meat department get that for you if you can't find it in the meat case. Pound it on both sides, and not real thin, but just to make it a little tender. You see, I'm not really beating on it or anything. I'm just pounding it a little bit. I've also gotten out bacon, which I'll need, mustard, kosher salt, marjoram, paprika, sliced onion, and dill pickle. So I've got that over sitting on the side, and you'll see that in just a little bit. I'll sprinkle a little bit of kosher salt on. I don't use a lot of salt now, but later I will put more salt in. But you can see I just kind of sprinkle it with a little bit of kosher salt, not regular table salt. That has iodine in it, and kosher salt is much better for cooking. It is without iodine. So you put a little bit of that on there, and the reason for leaving the meat out for an hour to get room temperature is so that the meat isn't cold when you put it in the frying pan to brown it. It just will seize up on you. So, and it'll be tough. So here I am. I have 3 pieces of bacon, and there's my stock going on. And I have the 1 piece of bacon for every one of those steaks that you saw me pound up. You want to fry the bacon a little bit. If I've seen it done without frying the bacon, putting the bacon on there, raw. My palate does not like the sliminess or the how should I say? It's that raw kind of slimy thing in the mouth that I rather have it a little bit crispy. So my grandmother made it crispy. My mother did it, and I always liked my grandmother's version better. So we used to have this on special occasions. New Year's Day would be a special occasion, or if you're cooking to impress, rouladen is a great thing to cook. Everyone will just think you're a genius. I also have on the counter that you don't see right now, dill pickle. You'll need that. in a second here. So let's run down the lard that you see right now. After the bacon has crisped up a little bit and I've got my pickles ready, you can buy the spear pickles too. You'll need cornstarch, extra virgin olive oil. If you don't want to use the lard, I use the lard, but you don't have to. You can use extra virgin olive oil for your grease. And there's the marjoram, salt and pepper you need. Lowry's seasoned salt. Those are the dill pickles that you need. Now that's a beef soup base, bouillon base. And those are the little ties, or you can use toothpicks. And that's when you roll the rouladen up. You can put toothpicks in to hold it together, or you can use, and that is red wine to deglaze your pot. Okay, so with the pickle spears, you can just cut a pickle in half and then quarter, and then you could use that. And I didn't have any dill spears, so I'm using the dill sandwich pickles there. And that's fine too, as long as they're dill. So get your beef ready, the larger parts to the top, the smaller ends to the bottom. And I will start rolling the smaller ends when in a minute here, you'll see me do that. But it's just so it holds together better. If you did it the other way around, it might fall apart on you. And I thought I needed a little bit more salt, so that's the kosher salt and pepper. A little bit of marjoram. Just a sprinkle is fine on each one. And about a teaspoon of regular mustard. It's just the regular yellow mustard. I have tried other mustards, and you can too, but I like the regular prepared yellow mustard. So there's like about a half a teaspoon at the top and bottom of each one. Total 1 teaspoon per steak. And just spread it out a little bit. Doesn't have to be, exact, and just spread it out because it's going to all cook. It's just going to season your meat, as it cooks. So you don't have to be really perfect with it. Take a spoon like I have there and just kind of smear it around a little bit. And that's going to be it for your seasoning. Now take your bacon. There's 1 strip of bacon for each steak. And just crumple it up a little bit and on each one. And you can just randomly put them on. There's no no special way. Just crumple them up, and where they fall, they fall. This is a really, really, really good meal to make. It is so flavorful and so delicious. You will impress your guests by making this. So there, I decided to cut the sandwich dill strips there in half, and then lay them on each one of the steaks. There's like 2 pieces going to go on each one. And that just gives a whole lot of flavor, a little bit of tang. This is that German thing with the pickle. They use a lot of pickles in their dishes. So you just roll it up in a little roll. Start with that narrow bottom end first and roll up towards the big end. Now you want to hold those together somehow, so either way, whichever you have in your house, you can use round toothpicks, 2 of those, or you can use that cooking string and keep your roll together that way. So it's whatever you choose. I like the cooking string because you can roll your rouladen around and brown them better. With the toothpicks in, you can't roll them so good, not on the side that the toothpick is anyway. But I prefer the cooking string. So, but if you're out of the cooking string, you can use the toothpicks. It's not a big deal. Make it fun. Don't make cooking a stressy thing. So don't stress out over it. You can use the toothpicks. It's not a big deal. But if you have the string, use that. And you don't have to get fancy with that either. Just wrap it around and tie it in a simple knot, and then trim it. What I'm going to do after this, I'm going to put a little bit of bacon in my cast iron pot, and I'm going to brown them. So I just kind of prefer the cooking string, but I have used the toothpicks many times. So I make this a few times a year, and if I don't have the string, I use toothpicks. So it's fine. Rouladen, I've had rouladen since I was a little kid, and it's always that dinner that when you want to impress someone, you make rouladen. And so if you're cooking to impress, this is a great one. You could try it, first, and then when you have company, you can cook this, and people will just think that you are a genius. And what we had it at home, we had it either potatoes, or you can have dumplings, potato dumplings. You can have rice with this. If you don't want either one of those and you're eating light or something, and you can just use rice or noodles. It doesn't have to be, mashed potatoes and gravy, although that's what I'm cooking here in this video. It'll be mashed potatoes and gravy, and but you can choose whatever you want. Rice, noodles, potatoes, dumplings, whatever you want. They all work well together. So you see how easy this is. You just loop it around, tie it up, and I'm going to trim it here in just a second. All my family is German. I don't have any family in the United States. We're all from Germany. I don't have an accent because I was like 5 years old when we came over, and my aunt and uncle and grandmother and mother, they were all going to night school to try to learn to speak English, so they really did not speak a lot of German. And I do remember some German, but as far as speaking German, I can't carry on a conversation. However, I have 3 pretty good sized cookbooks from my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, my stepfather. He was Slovenian, so I have some recipes from his side of the family. So I will be sharing a lot of these recipes and further in upcoming videos that I've got planned here. There you go. There's the rouladen. It didn't really take, it took longer because making this video, I have to go a little slower and show you everything that I'm going to use and I have ready there. But if you were just making it in your kitchen, it really doesn't even take that long. Once you've made it a couple times, you just go right along. So there's my pot, and I'll put lard in there. But if you are absolutely against lard and you don't like to cook with it, you don't want to cook with it, whatever is the case, you can use any kind of oil, or I have out the extra virgin olive oil. I make my own lard. There's a video, if you check my library, there I have made a video on how to render pork fat. And there's the extra virgin olive oil. You can use that. You don't have to use lard. But my son raises pigs, so when they butcher, I get the fat and I make the lard. I make the fat into lard, and that I use for making soaps and cooking, and it makes an awesome pie crust. But you don't have to. You can use regular oil. You can use an extra virgin olive oil, or you can use lard. It's pretty easy. If it was hard, I wouldn't be making it. Let's put it that way. So it's pretty easy. All right, so you melt down the lard or the oil, and now you want to brown your little rouladens. And you see me, I have the celery and carrots. That's on a good simmer. I will use that stock there to make gravy. And that's the Lowry seasoned salt. I sprinkle that on the outside of the meat. I like to season when I'm cooking. I also, in this case, I seasoned a little bit before cooking on the raw meat. Like you would with a steak, you would put steak seasoning or whatever when you are making steak. And then now I'm seasoning again with the all-purpose, it's all seasoning salt. Lowry's all seasoned salt. So we're browning them up nicely. And this is only going to take 5-8 minutes. It's not going to take that long to brown these up. You're just browning the outside, basically, a little bit. There. Now I've got both sides are seasoned. I'll have all the ingredients and the things that you need. I'll have that in the description box. So whatever you need, you can gather it before starting, and just jot it down from the description box. And basically how you can time this is, 3-4 minutes on each side, and then turn them over and season them and move them around a little bit. I'll be using a red wine to deglaze the pot. When I cook with beef, I always choose a red wine. Chicken or pork, I'll choose a white wine. But with beef, I choose a sweet red wine. And then I'll sample it too. I'll have a little sample just to make sure it's fit to put into the stock pot. You gotta do that. Alright, so I'm gonna take these out. Just put them on a plate for just a moment, and you want to deglaze your pot now with your red wine. If you don't want to use red wine or a cooking sherry, you can just use water. Just scrape a little bit of the bottom from the pot there, and that's where all your flavor is. And then add some beef stock. That's a red onion that I'm putting in there. It's a small red onion. And your beef stock. Put the rouladen back in there. Cover it and let it cook on low about 2 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours. After about 2 or 2.5 hours, take the rouladen out. I think this here cooked 2.5 hours, so that should be, you know, what you plan for cook time. Not boiling. Not on a low simmer, but just on low. And I just want to strain that a little bit, so it's kind of hard to do it with the camera right there, but I didn't have enough room really. There's a hood with my fan and my microwave, so I can't raise the pot really high, but I want to pour that in there and strain out whatever's left, like those carrots and onion. So if you have any big pieces of onion or celery or carrot in there, just strain them out like that, and then add your liquid back into the pot again. My husband is watching television while I'm doing this. As you hear, Judge Judy is on. Alright, so there I have all the juices from the wonderful rouladen, and there's cornstarch in a measuring cup. Add about a cup of water to 2 heaping tablespoons of cornstarch. Bring that back up to a boil again. You know, thicken that stock there with cornstarch. You can use flour too if you don't have cornstarch. Anything to thicken your stock there. So that's, you know, boiling pretty good. Brought that up to a boil. And now I'll be adding the thickener, which is cornstarch. You don't really have to make a roux or anything with this. Just like 2 heaping tablespoons of cornstarch and a cup of water. And if you need more, then make more. Because you just want to thicken it, you know, for your gravy. This gravy tastes so good. It is just yum. And we put it over mashed potatoes. So we had mashed potatoes, gravy, rouladen, carrots, and collard greens. But it's so good. And if you find your gravy needs to be a little thicker, just put in more cornstarch and water if you like it a little thicker. So now you have your gravy nicely thickened, and you're going to put your rouladen back into the gravy and let that simmer for about 10 minutes while you go over and make your mashed potatoes, and you have your vegetable, whatever you choose, and you're ready to plate that up. And this is just going to sit, simmer, and keep warm for a little bit. But then come back and get everything together and plate it for your guest or your husband or your company, and then you've got a wonderful dinner. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a like, and I hope you enjoy. Have a great day.